What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Figure It Out of the Basement's Black Series Talk Show. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And today we're going to be talking about our Dream Archive Wave. Justin, let's jump right into it. Hit like and subscribe if you are new.
Yep, for those of you that may not know, the archive is just Hasbro's way to repackage usually older, more rare, more valuable, hard to get figures, hot fire figures that collectors have missed out on or otherwise weren't collecting at the time. It's usually just the same exact figure, but a photoreal application where applicable. So we've taken advantage of this line plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a lot of great waves, a lot of great picks. There are two exceptions to the no new tooling except for photoreal thing with Bush Leia and Old Man Han from Force Awakens. They do have some new tooling. I don't know why they pick and choose the rules, but it's usually just a photoreal update if there is a face.
Yeah, so recently what kind of inspired this video is that the archive line has just it's gotten a little random, in all honesty.
Yeah, their choices lately have been super questionable, and that's really odd considering we have information about how valuable figures are. You have all these communities you could be looking at. It's really not hard at all to just pick the right figures.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more than 4. We'll be talking about 4, but you know, they archive Lando and then 40th anniversary Lando, like within the same year.
And the same thing to the Emperor as well.
Yeah, and then they got Bo-Katan and X-Wing pilot Luke.
Right. And
I'm just like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, and even stuff like Grand Moff Tarkin, A New Hope Chewbacca, like none of those figures were particularly rare or valuable on the aftermarket.
Right, so we decided that we would just pick our dream wave for Archive. Archive is in waves of 4. The case is all double packed, so it's 8 figures to a case, and they're all double packed. So we have 4 picks here that some of these we actually have. Most of these we actually do. We have pretty much everything we've ever wanted in the Black Series, but try and put on your greater good glasses and just think about it as the whole collecting community. What would be the best for everyone? So our number 1 pick, of course, is number 59 red and black box Captain Rex.
Ooh, this is a figure that I would actually fully back an archive release because Captain Rex is a pretty awesome figure. It's the hybrid clone body with the, little bit more elbow room cut out, so you get a little bit more out of the double elbow. Yeah,
the Rex sculpt is amazing. They've only reused it a few times, like Bly and Pilot Hawk, but it's just so good. I would even consider it, minus the pins that this figure has, I would consider it better than the new clone body, which is like the bobblehead, small shoulder pad, which they are fixing that, but the Rex and Bly body is just so good, such good articulation, and it maintains those more theatrical proportions.
Right.
And I just think it works so well for Rex. And this was also a time where they actually weathered their figures, too.
Yeah, I was definitely going to mention the weathering in particular because it is one of the best examples in the entire line, and it's something that both of us miss dearly.
The sandy grime is just so good. It's almost Sand Trooper status, honestly.
Very close, very close. Add that in with a removable helmet with a great photoreal head. Captain Rex is essential and, of course, is one of the most expensive Black Series figures. And it hurts even worse because they dangled the carrot of the potential re-release.
Yeah.
But that has since been, well, I guess, all but confirmed that it's canceled.
Yeah. That's a common theme here, is all of our picks are valuable. Because why wouldn't you pick rare, valuable figures?
Right.
Unless it's like to maintain the collectability and the integrity of the line. Who cares? It's just cool stuff on shelves. That's what we want. That's what collectors want. So, Captain Rex.
And Justin, this next one here stings a little bit for me personally, just because I remember passing on it
Ooh.
so many times, and that is 000. This was part of that infamous wave of red and black box figures that had like BT1, Dr. Aphra, Ezra Bridger, where they were just a little bit hard to find. But they did end up like hitting GameStops a lot. So I remember seeing these figures and I was just like, I didn't really know who Dr. Aphra was. So I wasn't really looking to pick up her droids, because BT1 is also one of her droids. But we're not including that on this list because if they did remake that figure, we would want it on the updated Astromech body.
Yeah, so that's why certain figures aren't in this list. Quick side note, there are some things that, like, yes, of course we need to see it again, but if they do release that figure, it needs to be a new sculpt.
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker, I mean, the list goes on. So that's also what we kind of framed our list with, which, if it is a character where, that needs a new sculpt, we're leaving it off this list, because Archive doesn't fix everything. I'm looking at you, Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith. How many weeks in a row are we going to dog on that figure?
Look at that little peanut head.
But yeah, 000, it's such a cool looking figure. I was taking a look at the promo shots because we actually don't own this figure.
Yeah, it's one we don't have, period.
Yeah, and it's cool. There's like torture gadgets on his... He almost has sort of an Edward Scissorhands
kind
of vibe to him, and it's kind of dark.
Right. It's
for a toy.
And it's something a little different for a protocol droid, just because you associate, that with like C-3PO and the other protocol droids that are all mild-mannered, nice relatively. But and you see this one with buzz saws on its fingers, and you're like...
Looking like something out of Saw or something.
Yeah, and just now becoming a little bit more familiar with Dr. Aphra through like various comic books that she appears in. It's like, yeah, okay, now I want 000, and I would really appreciate it if it got a re-release.
I know we've been hating on the old clone body lately, and I still maintain that it has some of the worst articulation, but there's a case for this. I know I just said, oh, this figure needs a new sculpt, or this character needs a new sculpt. Commander Fox needs an archive, but hear me out. The Order 66 pack that came with the Coruscant Guard, Nate.
Yes.
That is the reason why I would support an archive of Commander Fox, which is on that old clone body, same as Commander Gree and, all the other ones. Wolf. But Wolf is technically pretty cheap, actually.
Yeah.
But Fox, oh my goodness, Fox is so expensive. I'm sure I'll have screenshots on there of the wonderful Amazon listing where you buy now.
Yeah, even the average eBay sold listings are really up there these days, and this was also a figure that at the time it was so easy to get because it was a shared exclusive, so you could find it at Barnes and Noble, you could find it at GameStop.
It was one of those, kind of like Zuckus.
Yeah, where it just showed up everywhere, but once Fox was gone, then of course, like most clones, skyrockets to the moon in price, and we just need to see Fox again. Most of the other clones have actually gotten a re-release, like Gree, like Wolf, but Fox, I don't think ever got that re-release that the others did. And I also just don't really see Hasbro revisiting this character to put it on the 2020 body. So I feel like the only way Fox is ever going to come back is through the archive.
Right, because we do have the new 2020 clone body shock troopers, from Bad Batch, so you could kind of, make the case for putting them on the 2020 body, or I guess I should say 2023 now.
Yeah.
Since we're getting a new one. Regardless, this figure aesthetically looks so good because they took the animation, but they kind of made him theatrical.
Right.
Kind of like what they did with Rex. So, he's actually consistent with Gree and Bly, who actually are from the film. So, it's just such a cool visual look. The articulation is terrible, but it's a clone. Clones are always going to sell no matter what. And I know a lot of newer collectors don't have Fox and would love to get Fox.
And our last pick for our archive dream wish list here is Jaina Solo, the original fan vote winner.
Yeah.
Or was Revan before that? I don't know, actually.
I think it was a rigged thing. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, where it was You could vote, but
Yeah.
it was really just the one option. Either way, Jaina Solo needs to come back. She's the least expensive out of all the others on this list, but still, she could use a nice photoreal update.
Yeah, because even the face is pretty good for a pre-photoreal, but I'm sure it could be even better. Kind of like the Mara Jade, how
Right.
that has a pretty great photoreal, even though it's just from, comic panels.
Right.
And stuff.
Yeah,
so.
it's not like an actor likeness.
Great body sculpt, great articulation for such an older figure.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that you get the X-Wing gear, and it's actually all removable.
Yeah.
And
So you could have Jedi look or like X-Wing pilot look with the helmet.
And I would also just love to get another one because mine took a shelf dive and her lightsaber snapped.
Oof.
And I know that Mara Jade comes with the same lightsaber, but I don't want to buy another Mara Jade just to get that lightsaber out of there.
Right. And I just feel like a deep cut, and I'm sorry, but yes, it's a deep cut. I know EU has their huge fan base, but I'm talking the majority here. For deep cut legends, I would honestly say Archive is more appropriate for this figure than a complete redo.
Right.
I mean, if they're going to invest all that money into a new sculpt, it might as well be something else.
Yeah.
Like a B2.
Which clearly they wouldn't invest in a new sculpt considering they just re-released Dr. Aphra and Mara Jade on that same body.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point. It's the same body. So, I mean, might as well just archive Jaina Solo. I mean, it's pretty good for a red and black box figure.
yeah, she was definitely one that back in the day, immediately it was like, oh, this was like one of the best figures in the line, which it was great that it was a fan vote and they actually really delivered with not only including the lightsaber, but the blaster and then the X-Wing pilot pieces so you could alternate between the two different looks. It was really just like a nice, complete figure that probably today would be deluxe.
Oof. Yeah, that's our dream wave. There are tons more that we can think of that would deserve an archive treatment or be appropriate for an archive treatment, especially miles above some of these recent picks. I really don't understand some of their odd choices that they've been doing. However, we want to hear from you for sure because there are much more picks that would be appropriate. And try to keep in mind, if it's a character that needs a new sculpt, we don't want that in archive. If it needs a new sculpt, we don't want it in archive. I'm speaking to you, Discord. Everyone that was saying Anakin, get that out of here. We need a new tool for Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Absolutely.
So if it's a character that it needs a completely new sculpt, leave it out. Just archive. Because we didn't even put Sand Trooper on here. Because I think at this point, it's like, let's see a Sand Trooper on the new body.
Yeah, why not? I want to see them use that 3D texture paint technology thingy that they only used one time.
And they're like, that shit's expensive.
They were like, sorry, we're not doing that again.
Yeah.
They got the bill and went, what?
It's just crazy to me how casually we can think of all of these figures that should be re-released because they're so highly desirable, rare, valuable, hot. Fire would fly off the shelves, but let's do Emperor Palpatine right before the 40th carded release.
Yeah, same thing with, Lando as well.
Let's do Bo-Katan. She's like $10.
Right. Although I guess, technically people in the UK were really hurting for Bo-Katan, but here in the United States.
Yeah, this is from the US perspective.
Right.
But yeah, X-Wing Pilot Luke, a 2013
that
figure.
Right. That deserves a new complete
What are you guys
figure.
doing? Like, what are you guys doing, bro?
Who knows?
I mean, it was a fantastic stream, and then just those archive picks at the end. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But before we go, we do also have just a quick announcement because we are currently, at the time you're watching this, we're in Nashville.
True.
We're at ICCC. C. We are at Nashville Comic-Con, so if you see us there, come say hi, come, chat with us for a little while. We're just going to be walking around, just hanging out, doing normal stuff.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be with Zach.
Yep.
And I'm sure we'll be seeing the 1313 boys and Skywalker Hendrix, Luke Ness Monster, hybrid toy reviews.
And all the other creators that are going to be there. So it's going to be awesome to see everyone, get to meet people. It's always fun to do that. And this convention looks awesome. It's going to be our first time going to this particular convention.
True.
So it'll be cool to see. Of course, we're going to do a vlog of it as well. So that'll be a lot of fun once, we get back and get it all edited together and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, so if you're there or in the area, come hang out. And that's all we've got for you this week on Figure It Out. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, because we're always talking about Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. If you'd like to support us in a more direct manner, we do also offer a channel membership, and we do have a small collection of merch as well. There are links for everything down in the description of this video. Big shout out and special thank you to our current channel members. Your continued support is truly appreciated, and thank you to everyone else out there for watching. I'm Nate. I've been joined with Justin.
See you guys later.
And we will see you all next time on Out of the Basement. Jesus. Fucking sound like a raptor out there. Like,